I've been able to be really successful with photography. I've been able to travel the world. I've been able to work for some really big brands, and I was able to secure my first funded account in 2020. Did not have that account for long. I stopped trying to catch reversals. I'm trading continuation. I don't know why people think VWAP is like an older person's trading strategy. Put it on your chart and you could probably become profitable. I think I just love scalping. Feels like you're taking money from someone. I don't want to come out here and say I like stealing money because that's not what I like to do. If you look on X, you're going to see, oh, I took a 30K payout. When I post, it's like, hey, I took 3 payouts of 1,000 each. Right now, I choose to be the guy that takes the money when it's available. Try to make money off trading first and then really believe in yourself and reinvest that money. Most people are like, dude, I need like 200 bucks for a payout. Like, and they start freaking out and then they just can't get the payout because they've psyched themselves out, dude. And don't judge yourself on how long your journey takes. Believe in yourself because I promise you the hard work will pay off.
Hey, Alex, thanks for joining us here today. I appreciate you hopping on for a few minutes to just kind of cover everything about your trading approach on the prop firm side of things. Why don't you kick it off by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about how you got into trading in the first place?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be able to kind of tell my story and talk about my journey a little bit. Basically, it all started for me in 2020, as I think a lot of traders probably got into the market around that time, with COVID and everything. My background is in photography. I'm a fashion photographer based in New York. I originally come from Miami, but I moved here about a little over a decade ago. So probably like 11 years, I'd say I've been in New York. Mm-hmm. And so I bring that up because most people know that becoming a fashion photographer in a city like New York is near impossible. It's a very hard thing to achieve. So I've always been drawn towards things that people say is impossible to do. To be honest, I don't know why that's my trait, but it's what I'm drawn towards. And I've been able to be really successful with photography. I've been able to travel the world. I've been able to work for some really big brands that a lot of people would know if I just name drop, but I'm not going to do that. Obviously, I've worked with celebrities and all the stuff that you would think of. So things started really going really well in my career with photography. It took me a couple of years, like I would say 3 years, to really take things off on that end. Mm-hmm. So when I got into trading, I was like, all right, maybe it takes 3 years, 4 years, however long it takes, but I know that this is something that I could do, right? And like everybody else that gets into trading, I think it's usually options pretty quickly on, probably through Robinhood or whatever app you have on your phone. I actually was a little bit different. I kind of got into it. I don't know how. I ended up in a Discord that was like about futures. So I went right into it, basically trading futures at first. And I was able to secure my first funded account in 2020. So that was a pretty cool thing. That was a first funded account with Topstep, and did not have that account for long. I mean, that account definitely was blown pretty quickly. And it was a moment where I was like, all right, this is gonna be a little harder than I thought, but that's all right. I'm happy to kind of go on this journey. And obviously, COVID starts to cool off and things get back to normal and we're able to start working again. So I start to tell myself, you know what? I really like this futures thing, but I don't have the time right now to put all of my energy into it like I would like to. And that's the thing about me. If I'm going to do something, I go all in on things. I did it with photography, right? Like I literally was living in Miami. Me and my girlfriend moved out here with no plans, but I'm going to make it. Like that was all it was, So I go all in on things. And so I knew, all right, I can't go all in on futures right now. I'm still doing my photography my photography is going really well. I'm traveling a lot, so I don't have the time. So I kind of jumped over to options, and I had some quick success in options. Like I made some money, then gave it back, then made a little bit of money, then gave it back. And I did that kind of between 2021 and I want to say 2020, like the end of 2024.
Okay.
The end of 2024 to the start of 2025 was a big moment for me. It was a moment where I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into futures. I'm going to spend a lot more time into it. If I can, I want to stream every day, hopefully grow a following, but more importantly, just to keep myself accountable. And also it was around a time where my photography career has gone really well. So I had money put away. And I also felt like, just to add to it, I have an agency or an agent that represents me as an artist, as a photographer. Sure. So they kind of handle all of the day-to-day stuff. They handle the clients that come in. If clients come in that are not up to a certain standard of what the agency wants to have me doing, it's a lot of no's, right? So that gave me a lot of free time. So maybe I work twice a month with photography, right? And that's all I really need to do because my agents can get a pretty decent amount for my job. And so that gives me a lot of free time. So that was kind of the moment where I was like, all right, I'm going to go all in on futures. I really love it. I'm going to figure this thing out. And obviously went down the rabbit hole of the ICT world and all that kind of stuff. I think most people have gone down that hole. Mm-hmm. And I'll give credit to Kane. Kane is one of the first people who I saw had a lot of success. He pulled out, I don't know, I think it was like 2 million from the market or something, or from Apex or something. So he's the first person that I actually spoke with and really connected to, and we became friends. He actually came to New York and we hung out here in New York. So he's just a lovely guy, man, and really put me on to like 10 a.m. really specifically, like looking for 10 a.m. and looking for that 4-hour candle and all that kind of stuff. But that was the early part. So I would say that was 2025 from like, let's say December-ish all the way to, I want to say the end of September to October. So on that ICT journey, started to become profitable, but not making a ton of money, super transparent. Biggest month at that time, maybe like 4,500 in payouts,
which is still incredible
for someone who was like, I'm going to make this happen. Yeah. I mean, I felt on top of the world, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like my expense on a $4,000 month was probably somewhere between $1,000 to like $1,500, let's say, okay. So I'm still making profits, and I know it's hard. I know it's really hard to make profits in this industry. I know it's like, I think it's like 3.5%. I don't know the exact number, but it's not a lot of people. Yeah, they don't make money. So very grateful to have that, right? But I had like really good people behind me, like Kane, for example. Mm-hmm. But then basically what happens is in the end of September, I connect with Jacob, who you guys have actually had here on the stream. And Jacob's like I call him a young kid because he's like, I'm 39. People probably don't think I'm that old, but I'm a pretty old guy.
That old.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But I am. And so to me, he's a kid, but there was something about him that I really liked. When we first connected and started talking, I was like, this is a good person. Mm-hmm. This guy really has good morals. This guy's very transparent, very honest. And we just clicked. And sometimes, you guys and whoever's listening to this, later on, I'm sure you guys have there's people that come into your life that you just click really well with. Like it just feels supernatural. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, wow, like this guy's, maybe we were really good friends in our past life. I don't know, but he just crossed my path at the right time. I was kind of hitting a wall. I felt like, I couldn't really, like, I felt kind of like a break-even trader at that point. I'm not going to lie. Like I had good months, but then I had some break-even months. And then I was kind of like, all right, my discipline is really good. My ability to walk away is pretty decent. You know what I mean? Because of my discipline. And I am getting payouts, even from firms like Apex, which I know are harder to get paid out on. But I'm not having I feel like I'm stuck. Like there's not, you know what I mean? Like, and I had this feeling in photography too. I had this feeling in the first few years of photography. I kind of felt like I'm there, but I'm not there. Like what is that breakthrough that has to happen? And Jacob really was that breakthrough for me. And if I'm being honest, he came into my life at a perfect time. He had just done, I think he had made like 140,000 at that point in payouts, which is, to me, was incredibly impressive. But meeting him and kind of starting to get to know him and having those conversations that we had and him showing me like what he was doing, it was so similar to what I was already doing. All it did was reinforce, okay, if he's making a lot more money than I am, but we're doing the exact same things, then I'm going to try to add a little bit of, I'm going to sprinkle on top a little bit of what he's doing, because we're not the same traders. And, people that join, I'll talk about the mentorship later, but people that do join what he created, and I'm a part of it, they can see that we're slightly different traders. I think even though if you trade the same model, you're a different trader no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, man, he really helped me see, oh wow, that's why I was getting manipulated, or that's why I was doing this. You know what I mean? And I've helped him see other things too. So it was just like two people coming together that had two really strong backgrounds and they believed in what they were doing. And together it just, I don't know, it just really kind of clicked for me. And my first month trading, so that's exactly when that happened. I decided, all right, I'm going to do 100K in a 100-day challenge. I want to document this journey, but I also want to prove to myself that I can do this,
Yeah.
And in that first month, I did like 15 or 20 grand. And so I almost like 4 or 5x the highest month I ever had before, and now I'm at 81 days so far, all documented. This month is my lowest ROI. My lowest expense versus how much I've made. Yeah, payouts. So I'm currently at 32,000 payouts as of today for this month. And if tomorrow goes well, which I'm going to just put, I'm not superstitious, but I haven't lost this month. I have an entire green month on Topstep specifically. I actually made an X post yesterday being very transparent about, I can show you this green month on this account, but I can't lie if I can't just tell you that if I don't tell you that this happened to me and I had some bad situations happen on some other accounts, right? Because I know people don't share that stuff. But I had trade copier issue. We can go into that later. But yeah, man. So I'm a little superstitious. But if tomorrow goes well, I just need $150 on Topstep. That's going to give me another 3,000. That puts me at 16.2K from Topstep this month, and brings me over close to 35K on the month, which will be by far my biggest trading month so far.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you, man.
So I hear a lot there about how you and Jacob collaborated to work with each other to refine your approach, but maybe you can help us zoom in a little bit on that for you. What would you say were the turning points, the aha moments that led to the consistency you're now enjoying? What's your setup look like? What are the things that you felt like you had to get rid of and then keep?
Cool. Yeah, perfect. So there's 3 main things, right? I would break it down into 3 things. Number 1 is I stopped trying to catch reversals. I'm trading continuations. I know it sounds stupid.
No, I'm laughing because I need to stop trading reversals. That's my worst model.
I mean, listen, man, the 2, 3, 4R looks so shiny because when you catch it, just like your brain, it makes sense for the brain. Like the brain's like, hey, this is a good deal. We're catching the bottom. We're going to ride it back up. Like, it just seems like, I don't know. To me, it just seems too good to be true. And I think that's why I was failing, to be honest. I think the reality is when you're a reversal trader, you have to be okay with multiple paper cuts before the trade actually happens.
That's right.
And I think where people go wrong is they don't have the psychology in place to handle the paper cuts that come with being a reversal trader. So a lot of what ICT teaches, especially the 2022 model, is reversals. And if you take 2 losses and they're paper cuts, or you didn't size correctly and they're bigger losses, you're probably not going to be in the game long enough, especially on prop firms, to catch those big moves, right?
Sure.
So yeah, the first thing I would say out of those 3 things, and I'll break it down into 3 things, is to not trade reversals at all.
Okay.
Only look for continuations. Now, today is a perfect example of how I still used my old approach with my new approach. So I took the short first. So I'm trading the continuation. Once that continuation is exhausted, and I know it looks like everyone else has been manipulated, I can try to ride this up, but I need a lot of confirmation to do that. And so I was able to take 2 trades today on actually Prop Firm Match TV. I was on their live stream today. Zach, who you've had on here before, actually talks really highly of you guys, is a friend of mine, and he's always bringing me on the show. So I was there today trading live. But yeah, so I'm not saying not to take a reversal. I'm just saying that I'm always going to be looking for that continuation first, because a lot of times that initial reversal is really just manipulation before they actually give you the trade.
Right.
So that's really the main thing that I kind of learned. And it was like an aha moment. I was like, oh my God, like this is why I've lost so many times, So that just kind of clicked right there. Number 2 is trade with VWAP. And ICT doesn't talk about VWAP. People that are like trading nowadays really don't. I don't know why people think VWAP is like an older person's trading strategy or something.
I don't either. It's a beautiful indicator.
It's incredible. It's one of the only indicators that I would say, put it on your chart and you could probably become profitable.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to just leave it like that. Right. So VWAP, if we're below VWAP, that's an even better reason to continue the shorts. If we're above VWAP, an even better reason to continue longs. Right.
I'm with you.
So that's the second thing. And a lot of people are not going to love that, but that is the second thing that I will say has changed a lot for me. My girlfriend just got into trading because she's seen my success, and I'll see her trading a little more than she should, because she's still new to it, and so she still has emotions, and she still revenge trades and all the things that we have to go through as traders. But I always tell her, like, hey, babe, make sure you're below VWAP. Are you below VWAP right now if you're trying to short? And she always laughs about that, you know, but so that, yeah, VWAP has been like a pretty big word in our house lately. But I'm really proud of her. She passed her evaluation account after 3 days of trading, and was able to secure her first payout ever of $600.
All right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
so very, very proud of her.
Yeah.
But I'll be very transparent. Her first day on the funded, she took a $1,600 loss. Probably not what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
She scaled down and then she chopped her way back out. So very proud of her. But yeah, it's simple things like that, man. Don't catch the reversals, trade the continuation, be with the trend, and then VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third thing that I'll say is, and this is something that I'll say, seeing Jacob, because remember, we're talking every day, you know. When I first connected with him, he didn't really have any students or anything like that. I would say he maybe had like one student at that time. Fast forward 3 months, he now has a mentorship with over 80 people in it. And I've been able to be part of it. I'm part of his team. So I've been able to be part of it and help him grow it. So out of those 80 people, I probably have about 30 people from my Discord alone in there. Yeah. And that's probably something that I should talk about. When I started the journey, I started the Discord. It's called TraderMate or TMade. People call me TMade, but TraderMate is the Discord. And yes, I did take inspiration from TaylorMade.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, I'm not even a golfer, but I just figured that people that trade like golf, and TaylorMade is like a big brand. So I figured TraderMade sounded like it would click, you know, like it would connect for you.
A little on the nose, but I'm with you.
So that's kind of how I got into that. But I really love the name. I love the branding behind it that we've been able to create. Mm-hmm. But it's a free Discord. And so really what it is like, I trade free every single day. Jacob trades in the mentorship every single day. So we're trading the same thing. But in my live stream, I don't teach you why I do what I'm doing. I just do the trades in front of you. And if you resonate with what we're doing and you feel like you're ready to take that next step, then you can always join the mentorship, and then you can trade live. You can trade daily live with Jacob. Or what some people do is they have me on one screen, him on the other, and they use this as confluence, right? Like if we're both in the same trade or whatever, then they feel better about it or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to like get off topic too much. But the third thing, and the reason why I bring all of this up, is just to say that what Jacob has that most people I've been in contact with don't have, is an insane ability to believe in himself and to believe in the trade. I've seen trades go really against him that I would have never held, that he believed in so much, and they become winners. And there's something really powerful about that. I'm still learning how to adapt to that, you know, to like really hold on to trades, because I would say I'm a lot more price action oriented. Like I can read each candle very, very well. And so if I see structure changing, I'm like, well, I don't really want to be in this anymore, because there's a likelihood that we are going in the opposite direction here. And I can always get back in. That's my mindset. Jacobs he's very married to his bias, and he's very married to the trade. And sometimes it can hurt him, but over a long period of time, because his model and the way that he trades is very profitable, it's beautiful to watch and see. Yeah. Right. So I saw him go from 140K in profits, or not fully in profits because he had some spend there, but I saw him go from 140K in payouts to over $500,000 in the last 3 months. So I saw him doing 60K months, you know, things that you see on X or you see on Instagram or social media, but I was able to be part of it and watch it happen. And then I learned a lot from that too, right? It really was like, okay, I need to scale. I need to believe more in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I do give him a lot of respect. But as traders, we are completely different. I would take more trades. He takes 1 trade a day, basically, maybe 2. I could take, if my bias is short, I might find 3 different or 4 different trades in that same bias that feel good to me. And I'll make like today I'm looking on the left here. I made $724 on some of my accounts, right? That was 3 trades or 2 trades. Jacob took 1 trade, right? But his one trade is probably more than my trade. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is that to say you're just more scalpy? Are you setting pretty precise take profit and stop loss then?
I am more scalpy, and I don't know why. I think I just love scalping. I think
Mhm.
it's just something that I love to do. Like I love to like get in and I feel it's
The
like you're
guaranteed profit
stealing
kind of
money.
thing?
Yeah. It feels like you're
Yeah.
taking money from someone. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I don't want to come out here and say I like stealing money because that's not what I like to do.
I mean, we kinda
Um,
have to. We're extracting that value out, right?
Someone's
Yeah.
losing. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it, but you know what I mean? I don't know. There's something really cool about like just getting in and then getting out and then getting back in and then getting out. I don't know. It's I don't know why I like that, you know,
Sure.
but someone like Jacob and there are people out there that can do that. They really get in and they hold those trades and they get rewarded for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's one thing I am working, but those are the three things, man. It's believing in yourself, believing in the trade. And in that third thing, the belief comes from back testing data.
Sure.
Like so many traders are out here trading with what they saw on TikTok or what they saw on X or what, you know, whatever. But do
Mhm.
they have 3 years worth of data? Do they have 6 years worth of data? Have they done 10 full years of data? Like
Mhm.
that is the make it or break it. So as much as I've become really successful in the last 3 or 4 months, it has a lot to do with the fact that the data is there. It's on my side. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Without that data being there, without those results, it doesn't matter how good of a trader I am. I probably would not be anywhere near where I am, even if I believed in myself wholeheartedly. So I do want to
Sure.
just say that, right?
Yeah.
Um, when I partnered with Jacob on his mentorship, one of the first things I told Jacob, I said, "Hey, man, we should really build an indicator that helps traders that join here get in and out because our model could be mechanical, but it can also be um, what's it called? It can also be where you as a trader can choose when to enter, when to exit. Like it doesn't have to completely be like here's your entry, here's your stop. Like it's either or. You choose what makes sense to you.
Mhm.
But we built out an indicator and me and my team, we back tested the hell out of this thing. I mean, we tried from 10 a.m. to 11 there. We've tried every 5 minutes, every hour, you know, because ICT, one thing I'll give ICT credit is he talks about macros a lot, right? Those like 10 or 20 minutes in between certain end of the hour or start of the hour, or whatever it is that he talks about.
Mhm.
So I was like, maybe there's a macro time where we can find to like this hour here. What's the perfect time for an entry? Where does that entry have to occur? Like, so the amount of back testing that we did and the amount of testing that we did to get to having the data that we have is a lot, right? So over 3 years, we have about 75% win rate. Over 6 years, around 70 to 75.
Mhm.
In the last few years, the amount of wins versus losses is a little higher. So it
Sure.
is really performing well right now.
What's the risk to
Um,
reward typically on that?
okay, so I probably should have mentioned that. Jacob trades a negative R reward,
Mhm.
but I think that because I'm more of a scalper and my mindset is a little bit different, I've gotten it to about 1 to almost 2R.
Got it.
Yeah. So again, Jacob will enter and he holds, which means that he's okay with drawdown. That takes a lot of balls of steel. I'll take some drawdown, but I don't love drawdown. So I'm always looking to see how can I mitigate my risk. And I think that's why my R is a little higher, right? Like for example, I'm gonna just pull up my top step here. Just give me 1 second. My top step here, I'm gonna look at it real quick. So I have a 55% win rate, but my
Mhm.
profit factor is 1.78,
Yep.
and my average win to loss is 1.5. So 1.5R.
Yep. Not bad.
Yeah.
That's almost identical to my current performance, around 55, 60% on average, and about 1.1 to 1.4, depends on the account. But I'm the same way. I try to pull those trades off fast, and I'm pretty scalpy. That said, I'm getting more and more comfortable with the idea of putting a little more size on 1-to-1 risk ratio and just looking for those perfect entries.
I like that, man. I think that's really the goal and where I want to head to, you know. The only reason why uh why I'm at 55% instead of being at like 75% is because of the scalping.
Yeah,
When I ran all the backtesting data, it's a 1 or 2 trade model and there's
sure.
no scalping, right? So the scalping will obviously break evens and whatever, all that stuff will kind of skew the data a little bit.
Yep.
So I can't recreate myself and put myself in the market to get my data, you know. I'd have to manually do everything for 6 years or whatever. And then it still won't be accurate because it's not real data. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like I'm having time to think about, you know, a lot of times we're making quick executions in the market where you really don't have time to think, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, but listen, I think no matter where you are in your journey, I think every day you're growing, every day you're getting better, and every day you're recognizing, hey, what can I work on, right? Like
Right.
what can we do to push the needle forward, really?
So another curious thought is, what instruments are you typically trading? Is it just NQ, or are you on the micros, the minis?
Yeah, it's a great question. So normally NQ, but I will switch to MNQ if we're very volatile for the day, right? I look
Right.
at how we're moving. And I obviously, every trader, when they enter a position, should know where their stop has to go. If you don't know that, I don't think you should be entering a trade, to be completely
100%.
honest. So I will 100% check to see where my risk has to be. If on a mini, it just feels ridiculous. I'm honest with myself, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to MNQs. I'm not someone that's like, oh, I have an ego, I can't trade MNQs. I know there's people out there that are like, they kind of like, they're upset about people trading MNQs or micros or whatever. I'm
I
not like
understand
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think every trade is different, and I think that if you know where your stop has to go, then you should figure out what you're willing to lose first before what you're willing to make. That's kind of how I look at every situation.
Sure.
But to just answer your question, I did start adding gold and silver into the mix, and so in the last, I want to say, month and a half, I jumped into trading the Asia session on my Discord. So we have a 10 a.m. stream and we have a 7:45 p.m. stream, or 7:45 p.m. Eastern stream, where basically I'm just kind of getting people ready before the 8 o'clock open. But it's not the same model as the New York AM model, but it has the same principles. So I want to get in and out, and I want to be done within 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just looking to see if gold opens and manipulates and then distributes. That's all I'm looking for. So if I can figure out the manipulation right in the first 3 or 4 minutes, I'll take the trade. And if I lose, I'm done. If I make money, I walk away. So, and then sometimes, because I have a little bit of a scalper's, I don't know, I would say a little bit of an issue being a scalper here. Sometimes I'll front run it and maybe get a break even, or maybe take a small loss, and then the trade actually occurs, and then I get back in. So I'm not going to say it's a one trade, but as long as the trade hasn't occurred yet, I can still try it again. Like if I just got a little too antsy, that happens sometimes. I'm not perfect. But yeah, and then usually it's gold, but because gold and silver work together, I will sometimes take silver. If gold, like let's say we go into the session and I'm like, hey, I want to see gold do this, and silver does it and gold doesn't, I'll take silver, if that makes sense. But I don't love taking silver because it's a lot more volatile.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And then I will be completely honest. This is my biggest payout month, and this is the month where I looked at both ES and NQ the entire month. And if ES gave me a better RR for the trade, I would just take it on ES. If NQ gave me the better RR for the trade, I would take it on NQ. So if I had a short bias and NQ was already moving, let's say lower, and ES was struggling to follow, I know most people say short NQ, it's the weaker asset, but ES is giving me the better risk to reward trade. So if I'm wrong on this trade, I'll lose less money than if I'm wrong on NQ. NQ already made the move, or is already making the move. That's one thing I shifted to doing this month, which I think is why I've traded so well. Because I have two options on the screen, and I'm just going to go with the option that's giving me the best trade. Now, sometimes I'm long bias, and ES is stronger, and it looks like it's going to take the high, or it's going to move into the direction I want, and NQ is struggling a little bit. I'll take that on ES. So I know it doesn't make any sense, but I'll take that on ES because even though NQ is giving me the better risk reward, NQ, in my opinion, because it's so volatile, it should have already been moving. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Doesn't apply the other way around.
It does, but it does apply the other way around. But sometimes it's me watching the chart that makes a decision. I don't know if that makes sense. So I can't just tell you.
I think you have an intuition for price action that is helping you along there, right?
Exactly. I can't say that it's exactly black and white, but I will say that's kind of how I'm looking at them, right? But also, just to be completely transparent here, when I take a trade on ES, my risk, because ES is $50 a point if I'm on an ES account, you're likely to lose a lot less even if you're wrong on ES compared to NQ. NQ can move 30, 40, 50 points quickly. You know what I mean? ES might move 4 points. So that's also another reason why I like ES. And so even if I take a loser, it doesn't hurt me that much, That
makes sense. With some firms, they will let you go long and short those two instruments at the same time. You have to look very closely at the terms, but I know Tradeify allows it, Lucid, Blue Sky, there's several other firms out there. So I often find myself looking at price action on ES, going long if it appears to have a long bias, but then preparing myself for short-term pullbacks on NQ so I can go short NQ at the same time while still holding the ES contract. Have you tried that before?
No, but it makes sense because like I was just saying, right? ES looks strong. NQ is struggling a little bit, and
That's right.
NQ will manipulate more.
That's
So
right.
before it wants to give you the trade, you could probably make the money on the pullbacks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that totally makes sense. But no, I think it would be too hard for me to do that because I already feel like I'm managing so many things while I'm live trading that I feel like if I was in a position short here, a position long there, and trying to manage the Discord and everything else that I'm doing, I think I would lose my mind, to be completely honest.
Fair enough. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Which is why many of our customers end up automating some of their trades on one symbol and then doing discretionary trading on another symbol. So you
I was going to say the only way is if a bot was doing it for me. You know, that
That's
kind of
right.
would be the only way that I could see myself doing that. I mean, you know, even Jacob is like a robot. Like he has a copy trader, but he manually trades all of the Project X accounts.
Got it.
And this is before Project X pulled out of all the firms.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like trading on a trade copier, or like not, I don't know if it was trade copy or what it is. I think it was Replicanto actually. So he was trading all of his TraderMate accounts there, but then he had like Lucid and Topstep, and I think, I don't know, maybe Tradeify, all on Project X on different tabs.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would see him enter on his TraderMate accounts, pull up Topstep, enter on the Topstep, pull up Tradeify, enter there. I mean, he was a manual copy trader. It was actually ridiculous to watch. It would
That's
give
crazy.
me anxiety, man.
Yeah.
But it worked for him, you know. I tried it. Like I tried doing that for a week, and I was going to pull my hair out. I just can't. I need one system that automates everything, and I just want to focus, you know, on trading.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up because it's kind of funny.
That is funny. And I've heard other traders that have done that in the past, manually trading each account, scaling across 10. So having all the windows open at the same time. And that's just nuts to me. I don't know how you manage that, but
yeah, it's too much anxiety for me. I'll tell you.
That's right. So do you have any other non-negotiable risk rules that you live by? Like, I know for me, I have self-imposed daily loss limits. If I trigger that, I'm done. I don't care what the prop firm has said. It's usually way too far away for me anyway. I have sizing rules. I have max drawdown rules, things like that.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Sky. If you're looking for a prop firm built for real traders and that's automation friendly, meet Blue Sky. And when you pair it with Traders Post, it just clicks. Blue Sky is a best-in-class prop firm with same-day activation, daily payouts, and no max restrictions. They also offer launch plans starting at $49. And if you're a first-time subscriber, use coupon code WELCOME26 to get 50% off your launch plan. Get funded with Blue Sky, execute with Traders Post. Sign up today at bluesky.pro. That's BLUSKY.pro. And plug in your edge. Trading involves risk. Use proper risk management.
Do you have any other risk rules that are?
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't have DLL. I don't have or MLL, however you want to call it for the day.
Sure.
I have my model and my edge, and as soon as it's gone, like as soon as that edge disappears, which is there's a time limit. I mean, I wouldn't say a time limit because it changes every day, but there is a time where I know the less probabilities become less and less of this happening.
Yep.
I will start to either really decrease risk if I'm going to take the trade, or it's a no trade day from me. Very rarely is it a no trade day because what I'm looking to trade happens every day. So if I take a trade, like I guess what I'm going to say is because I'm so good with de-risking, if that makes sense, I don't really need a DLL because if I take the loss, I'm pretty much done. Like you're never going to catch me really trading again. Like I'm not that guy, right? Do I have moments where I wouldn't say it's revenge trading. Do I have moments where I'm like, oh, I'm so up this month. I've had a 20K in payouts. Like I'm going to just, let's take a couple more trades this afternoon, or whatever. Yes, I've had moments where I do that. I kind of feel like it's the addict that like kind of like, goes back for a moment. But then you realize, why the hell did I just do this? Like, this is so stupid. I have no edge. I mean, this is dumb. You know what I mean? All those things start to jump back out. So hopefully, eventually that I can completely cut that out. But I don't know if anyone ever really does. I feel like a part of you, like I used to be super excited to trade. That went away. So at least I'm past that stage. You know what I mean? Sure. But every once in a while, there isn't a little like, oh, the market's really moving. You know what I mean? Like maybe we can, But one thing I will say is if I ever catch myself doing that, it's never copy trading. It'll be like one account that I'm already up a lot on, like there's certain accounts I have that I'm up like 9 or 10 grand in those accounts. So like if I'm going to do something stupid, I might just pick one of those accounts,
Yeah.
I'm not going to trade a Topstep account that is a day away from payout or something like, so I do make good decisions if I'm going to do stupid things, I will say.
What a great phrase.
Yeah.
Make good decisions if I'm going to do stupid things. So have you thought about moving to live at all, or do you maintain any other live accounts, or is it just prop firm trading at this point?
I was offered to go live on Topstep.
Mm-hmm.
This was in December or end of November. And I never saw the email, man. I didn't realize that because I've never been a live trader. So I didn't realize that they send you an email. It went to my junk folder. And in that email, you have 5 days to choose if you want to go live or not. And this is before all the new changes that they had. And I posted the email on X actually. So it's like a pinned post on my X account. And basically they were like, hey, you've got about $2,000 plus in each account.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know if you want to take this to live. If you do, let us know. We'll move you to live. And if you don't, we won't. Which was kind of a weird email, but I was like, oh, that's kind of nice of them. They're like, give me an opportunity to just keep trading normal. But I never had the chance to actually respond because on the day that I saw the email, it was past the 5 days. Because I would have said, hey, take me live. It's been a dream to go live, not because I'm going to make more money, because I know that you make less money essentially because you're not copy trading all the accounts. But because it's just like, hey, I did it, I set out to do what I wanted to do. And I was able to achieve that. And like most people out there, I think when you first start trading, you end up on Topstep TV watching that, so, you get excited about maybe being a Topstep live trader one day. But yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of bittersweet. I wish I would have seen it. And the worst part about it all is that a day after I saw that email, I ended up blowing those accounts. So I would have been live. I would have been able to take some sort of payout from the move, right? And I would have not been able to really blow my accounts because it all would have been consolidated into that one account.
Yeah.
So,
what would you say caused the blowout before at that moment?
It was early on. It was about, remember, I started trading and really making money. I mean, obviously not start trading, but I started trading this specific model that I'm trading in the middle of October. And this was towards the end of November. I went on a 6-week streak where I made money on every account for 6 weeks. I didn't have full green days every day, but we took 6 payouts in a row. And I think it just got to my head. I'm not one of those people that build buffers. That's one thing that maybe I'll work on as I continue to make money. I'm one of those people that just puts money in their pocket. Like, you're not like, if you look on X, you're going to see, oh, I took a 30K payout or I took a 15K payout. When I post, it's like, hey, I took 3 payouts of 1,000 each, or I took 4 payouts, and I'm very transparent about that. I'm like, right now I choose to be the guy that takes the money when it's available. Maybe that'll change in the future, but that's just what I'm doing currently. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think it was just maybe not believing in myself, beginner luck, like all those things that kind of can get into your head. You know what I mean? That really blew things up for me. I will also say December was tough for how we trade. It was not.
Yeah, I think it was tough for everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
December was
for us,
all over.
it was horrible, man. And Jacob also blew his accounts and he was live with Topstep at that time. So not to say I want to see anybody fail, but when someone that you're looking up to that's doing so well also fails when you fail, it's almost like, okay, maybe I'm not, maybe I don't just suck. Like maybe it's just a really hard time, And I think the reality about prop firm trading is you can't get so caught up in trying to keep your funded accounts forever. I think it's really about, the ROI on those accounts. Like this month specifically, and I'm going to talk about this month because I'm almost like rewiring my brain a little bit because, I always thought I had to spend like at least 3 or 4K to make 10, 15, 20K. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I always thought about it. But this is the first month where I only spent less than $1,000 and I'll make more than 35K this month. Like that ROI is crazy, And Take Profit Trader, this is the first month I actually really got into it. I've had Take Profit Trader in November when I was on my streak, and I did take 1 payout from them. But then December came, horrible month, and I lost the accounts. This month, going into February, I felt really good, so I started TPT again. TPT gives you back your evaluation fee when you get your first payout. So essentially, I had 3 TPT accounts that they paid me back for that I ran up to 8.7K in payouts. So my ROI, I don't even know what that is because I didn't pay for the accounts. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a crazy concept, but
that is.
But yeah, I made $8,700 off of zero essentially. Yes, I did have to put the money up front, but they paid it back. So
yeah,
I don't know. So it's just starting to make me realize like, okay, you don't really have to have such a big spend to make a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I think that that's honestly a big lesson that a lot of traders are now realizing in the prop firm space is that you don't have to buy a bunch of accounts. Just start with one, start to roll them up. Maybe even buy another account once you get a payout if you need to.
For sure.
But the initial outlay can be incredibly small for the upside that it's offered.
100%.
What other lessons do you think other traders who are kind of beginning in the prop firm space can learn?
Good question. I really like the idea. I really like the concept behind what you just said about making money first to then invest in yourself. I don't think you should be investing in yourself before I went on this like really good run that I'm on. Before I feel like I'm a different trader from 4 months ago, right? Like if you look at my live streams, they're on YouTube, by the way. I haven't streamed this entire run in the last 4 months. I did not do it on YouTube. I did it on Discord, but you can still go back and see everything I did before that on YouTube. And I'm two different traders. It's actually scary how much I've grown in the last 4 months. And you know, I'm a big believer that make money first, prove that concept to yourself, and then invest in yourself. That's another thing that Jacob did teach me. He was like, bro, when I made my first 10K, I put it all back into to accounts. You know, how many people would do that? Not a lot. A lot of people that take 10 months to make any money, the first 10K they make, they aren't going to just reinvest it all back into themselves. Like a lot of people don't have that confidence like that. They're going to be like, yes, I'm finally break even, or I've made a little bit of money. Yes, you know, and they're going to like maybe go and celebrate, and then they're going to get back to the markets and keep doing what they're doing. But I don't think that they would take the whole chunk and fully reinvest that 10K straight into themselves. Jacob did that. He took the 10K, completely spent it all in prop firms, and that's why he went from, you know, in 6 months, $500,000. It's because he went heavy on. He just bet big on himself. And so that's one thing I'll say is he didn't do it before he made the money. He did it after he got the payouts. So that's one thing that I'm big on. I tell that to people in my Discord. That's what I do. Try to make money off trading first, and then really believe in yourself and reinvest that money.
Sure.
And obviously do it with the right firms, right? Don't do it with firms that make it hard for you to get paid. Because we all know that those firms exist, and it sucks when you see people that are, you know, at payout and they get denied or whatever. So be smart about where you invest as well. That's one of the biggest tips I'll tell you. Do your due diligence, because nobody wants to, you know, I call it work. Nobody wants to work for 2 weeks in the markets and literally not get paid for it. That sucks.
So on that subject, and maybe without naming names, are there particular things you look for when you're reading through the rules for a prop firm where you say, okay, I like those rules, that's what I'm looking for?
Yeah. So I'll give you my rules, like what I look for. But one thing I will just premise this with is it depends on your model, right? Because if you take more drawdown than I do, or if you take a lot of drawdown, maybe you have to look for something different, right? Maybe like a Apex is not the best for you, because an Apex is a trailing drawdown, and that's going to potentially put you in profits and then pull those profits away as price pulls away, even if you're in profits still, right?
So to be clear, you're saying watch out for real-time drawdown versus end-of-day drawdown.
Exactly. Watch out for real-time drawdown versus end-of-day drawdown. End-of-day drawdown is what I usually go for, but real-time drawdown is not bad if it works with your trading style. As a scalper, it does work for me. I can totally trade Apex, and I do have some Apex accounts, and I have taken Apex payouts. But Apex is not a firm that I would highly recommend if it doesn't fit your model. And I think understanding the way you trade versus how prop firms will pay you is crucial, because you won't. That's the difference between like a 20K payout and no payout. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking for firms, I'm looking for firms that don't have daily loss limits. I don't want a firm that's like a 50K account with $1,000 loss limit. I just don't want that. Not because I'm going to lose 1,000. It's just because I've had trades that I have had 2 losers on, that then my third trade brought it all back. I've had those experiences. That's real life trading. Should you have taken the third trade? That's a different discussion. But the reality is I've had those sessions, right, where that happens. And on some of my accounts that had $1,000 DLL on them, those accounts stayed down 1,000 while everything else is sitting in green. And so you learn your lessons as you're trading and with the firms and what is offered. And so, and also there's this new 3-day payout thing that has just entered the chat, right? A lot of firms are doing 3 days to pay out now. 40% consistency rule. I don't like it. I like 5 days, 50% consistency or none. If you can find none, great, like Topstep. But I like the 5 days, because What 3 days does is, yes, you can get a payout faster, but it's gonna mess you up a little more psychologically. At least that's what I felt like it does, right? I had Topstep accounts that I paid $89 for, and the second that they were eligible for payout, it was on my screen, and it was like an $800 and $900 payout because I'd only made like $1,800 in total, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like messing with me, man. It was like, man, usually it's like I'm pulling out 1,500 to $2,000 because usually I'm reaching 3K to 4K in 5 days, or two to 3K in 5 days. So it was kind of messing me. I was like, this is like, it's so hard not to take this money. It's just, I mean, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Maybe it's different for other people, but so I took the money and I took an $89 investment and was paid back $1,000.
Sure.
That's an incredible investment. I did that across 2 accounts. The rest were all 5 days to pay out. But those 2 weren't. I blew those 2 on Friday because I didn't have enough drawdown.
You had a less drawdown. You
I had $900 worth of drawdown. The other accounts, nope. I got payouts from them. I continue to trade them. They're live. That's why I don't like the 3-day thing. I think it makes you make irrational decisions where you like, yeah, it's great to get your money, but I feel like the 5-day is really the sweet spot for me. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
so
I'm not.
Is that to say then that you prefer maybe some of the daily payout firms because then you can just take smaller chunks out each day?
So that's why I was going to get to is TPT. TPT has been kind of a game changer for me, man. I would have made 23 to 24K this month across regular prop firms because I call everything else regular. I think now TPT is like in a different world for me because I've never experienced daily before, right? I didn't know what that felt like. And what it does is it kind of changes everything. Like I took 3 accounts that were like $111 per account with a 40% off code or whatever that I actually just used Kane's code for it. So I bought 3 accounts, thought nothing of it because it's 5 days to pass, which is absurd in today's day and age with prop firms. So 5 days to pass. So I just threw on the copier and traded like normal and whatever the outcome was, right? Eventually they passed. And then, okay, now we're funded. Awesome. Throw them on the fundeds. And you don't really think about it. I'm not thinking about taking payouts from those accounts because I know, okay, I got to get over a buffer. It's a lot to think about. So I'm just trading my Topstep, my Lucid, my Tradeify, and I know when those payouts are coming. I know, you know what I mean? I'm good with that. But then all of a sudden, this TPT account is just finally buffered and it's finally ready for me to make money on. And I just take my trades like normal and boom, I get an $1,100 payout just because I had, a $400 day on 3 accounts and then I went 7 days straight with those accounts, never losing. And so it was an 8.6K payout in 7 days. Right. And I did not expect that. That would have taken me probably an entire 3 weeks with Topstep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks or something, So yeah, I don't know. There's something really special about it. It is a lot harder. You have to really be on a really strong run for it to work. And again, maybe one day I'll build buffers because right now those accounts are still right now at $2,000.
Yeah.
I take it and it stays at $2,000. I take it to the $2,000. If I didn't take anything, I'd probably be at like 6K or something, and then maybe I could really make a big move and try to get a big payout. But I'm not there yet, man. I'm a base hits kind of guy. I want to show up, do the same thing every day. I don't want to start to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to go for the big money. Like, people, when silver was just taking off, everybody was just posting 100K days. I'm not interested yet. I will get there eventually, but on my terms,
Yeah, this is what I've liked about Blue Sky. They offer daily payouts and up to 3 of their funded accounts at once. And the beauty of it is it's a minimum of $250 in profit for each day. So I only have to, it changed the goal for me. Instead, with previous accounts, especially with consistency scores around 30% or 40%, you might need to make $1,000 or $1,500 each day. Now, all I need to do is hurdle $250 and I can request another payout and keep the buffer right where it is. That changes things. That changes your mentality for your approach as well. If the goal is much closer.
I mean, one thing that I started doing, man, on the live stream is, let's say I'm in a trade, and because TPT, and I actually did talk about this. I don't know if I tweeted about it or what, but I talked about how trading, the one thing people don't prepare you for when you take daily payouts is how it can kind of mess your psychology up a little bit, and I'll explain that.
Yeah, go for it.
When I took my first few payouts, daily payouts from TPT, I would be in a trade, right? And I would never let the TPT accounts get to the full TP that I knew is where all the other accounts are going to be taken out of. I would actually cut my TPT early because I'm like, this is 100% securing me a payout today.
That's right. Exactly.
And so does that mess with your psychology in the sense that like you're not letting your trades really run? Or are you being smart because you've made money for the day? That's a great feeling. And now if it does go against you, who cares? You already got paid, you know? So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out like whether it kind of messes with your psychology a little bit or whether it's good to TP early on some accounts because you're securing money. You know what I mean? So I don't know the answer yet, but
I think that's what I've started to lean towards, because when it comes to prop firm trading, we're almost entirely operating in a simulated environment, and we shouldn't be thinking in dollar terms in the account itself. It's really more like points on a scoreboard, right?
Yeah.
Instead, we have to think in terms of how much profit can we actually pull from that account. That's the real dollar amount. So if hitting an early take profit on a daily payout account, let's say I have it set at $500 and it liquidates, and that guarantees me a payout for that day, all I've done is just produce points on the board for me to secure those funds, right? I think what gets in our head, especially in these accounts, is thinking about our days being like $2,000 days, the big X post that people post where they're like, I had 25 accounts and I made 10 grand in each account. We don't need to score that many points to get paid out every day. So that's the way I've been thinking about it. No,
and I think you're right on the nose with it, man. Like daily payouts is a game changer. It really is. It really is. And yeah, it's just about how long can you keep those accounts alive? How long can you keep taking those payouts from them?
Right.
And I also wonder, because I'm not trading a live account. Like I'm not trading an account that I have my own cash in. So I also wonder how that would be. Like, would I TP that account early too? You know what I mean? In a trade, am I just starting to TP all these daily payout accounts early? But yeah, I don't know. The one thing I will say though is I'm not afraid to put the risk on the trades. That's the one thing that I think has changed a lot for me in the last few months, is that it doesn't matter if it's a daily payout account. It doesn't matter if it's today's the payout day. None of that stuff bothers me anymore. I show up. If I see the trade, I execute. I don't care. I'm not going to fear or hesitate or allow the trade to move away from me. Does that make sense?
Sure. It does.
And I think that just comes with experience. But that's also a big thing that I'll point out, that over time that does happen. Like, most people are like, dude, I need like $200 for a payout. Like, and they start freaking out, and then they just can't get the payout because they've psyched themselves out, dude, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm like emotionless, because I still have emotions, obviously. And I'm very energetic on my streams. Like, people will sometimes compare me to TJR because I will scream and do a bunch of weird stuff. And I'm not trying to like, be him or anything like that. But people have even commented like, oh, you're not supposed to have emotions while you're trading. I have a lot of emotions while I'm trading. I'm a very loud, kind of guy.
But that doesn't mean you're trading emotionally.
No. My trading, here's the thing. Sometimes people don't know why I'm taking a trade. It doesn't make sense to them because they don't know the model that I'm trading. So sometimes people will see me take a trade that just looks horrible, but everything has checked my box. And so I'm in that trade, and then I win. But a lot of the time that I'm in that trade, they're like, why would he do that? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean? And so but it also makes me feel like, okay, this is why I'm winning right now, because the majority doesn't understand this. Does that make sense? Like, everybody was like, oh, this is a great trade. We're probably going to lose that trade because most people lose, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, I'm also, I guess I'm not going to change. I'm not going to be like this, like, cause I've seen people on live streams that are like, taking trades, and they're just so like, they're just breathing and they're calm. That's not who I am as a person. So yeah, but yeah, daily payouts, man, they get me excited. They really do.
I'm with you. I definitely changed my viewpoint as well. So what would you say is your next big goal as a trader? What's going on for the next, for 2026, or at least just the next couple of months?
I want to hit this 100K, before the 100 days. That's definitely the biggest thing I want to do right now. And remember, I want to be completely transparent. I'm saying 100K requested. That's not 100K in my bank account. It's 100K requested. And I talk about this a lot. That's how much money I made. What the firm wants to split with me, what the firm wants to do, it's 100K. You know what I mean? Sure. And even furthermore, if I really wanted to be honest, I could say that I made 200K or whatever, because I really did make those funds. It's just that I can only take 50% of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think a lot of people, when they look at the payouts and look at stuff, they don't actually realize how much money we actually had to make to like even get what we got, the crumbs of the world, of the prop space. But yeah, so it's
50%, by the way. I'm used to seeing 80 or 90%.
No, the split is 80 to 90. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you're losing 10 or 20%. I'm just saying that you had to make 50% more of your money to take 50% on the payouts. Does that make sense? So like if I took let's say I made 13K in payouts from Topstep, I probably made 26,000 because across 5 accounts, right? Because that's what I needed to do to get that 13K in the first place. Like, so that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. If you really want to be honest, that's how much we made.
Yeah.
Not that I could, maybe I don't know if I could recreate that in my own cash account, but if it was, it would be 26 grand. Let's just be honest,
Yeah.
So yeah, 100K in requested payouts. Once I figure out what that ends up being, that's actually hit my account, I'll share that. But the journey is 100K requested in 100 trading days. And the reason why I did 100 trading days, or the reason why I did trading days in general, because people are like, hey, does that mean that does that mean it's been 100 days that you've been trading? No. I might have been trading more than 100. Yeah. Like the days I sat down and took a trade, that counts because that's how the firms count if you're active or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it just makes sense to kind of tally it like that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the goal, is break the 100K.
Love it.
And then, yeah, man, I think it's going to go. I think I'm going to have to either double it to 200K by the end of the year, though. I'm not these guys that's like, oh, I did 100K in 3.5 months. I'm going to do.
Now you're going to never hear from me again.
Yeah. Or I'm going to do 200K in the next month. Like some people go really crazy, No, I'm going to be realistic about it. Like I did 100K, but let's try to do 100K more by the end of the year. And if I surpass that and break that, man, God willingly, that would be beautiful. And I'll be super proud of that. But I don't know. I'm already kind of to have a 35K month in trading is already mind blowing to me, right? Like I knew that I would make money, but I didn't know that I could make 35 grand in trading with prop firms specifically. So now that I know it's possible, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, man, and see what I could do. That's really the only answer I could give you. I'm a dreamer, but I'm also realistic about things,
Yep.
So yeah, I guess that's my answer.
Love it. All right. Well, we're keeping track of it. By the way, which day are you on right now of the 100?
We're on day 81, and we've taken 84,000.
And we've taken 84,000.
Yeah.
$1,000 a day on average, pretty much so far.
That's man.
Fantastic.
And I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it's kind of been like that. I was a little afraid because I was at 50K in payouts in 61, or I don't remember the exact number, but I was like 10 or 11 days behind. And I was like, oh man, I need a really good month to catch back up because December wasn't the best. I'm going to, I've been saying that. But hey, February has delivered. TPT has helped out with that. It was like an $8,500 withdrawal that I never expected because they were just not on the radar when I was like figuring out, all right, what could I make if I traded as many accounts, So yeah, hopefully we're a little bit ahead of the days. Hopefully we can continue on the streak here, man. But like if I don't reach the 100K, it is what it is. I'll be transparent about it. But I'm just really happy to be on the journey, to be sharing it, and hopefully inspire people to either get into prop firm trading or just to know that it's possible. That's really it, man.
Yeah.
Jacob will tell me every day, bro, scale in harder. You got to believe in yourself. You got to do this. And I love that. I feel like I have like David Goggins in my ear or something. Like the David Goggins of trading,
That's awesome.
Yeah. And he's like, one trade a day, stop trading so much. Like he's very like that, and I need that because he's opposite of me. And I love that. But he's done, if he does a 60K week and I do a 6K week or a 10K week, I don't look at it and go, oh fuck, like, why I should be doing that. I've never been that kind of person. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, you don't want to compare yourself that way.
Yeah, I'm not going to compare myself, and I'm not going to put my foot to the metal unless I'm comfortable with it, right? And I'm starting to get more comfortable. So maybe I start to ramp up. Maybe I say the same. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the goal, man. That's honestly the goal, and that's where I'm going. Hopefully.
Fantastic. Well, if anybody wants to follow along, I know you're on X under TMade Alex. Sure. Is there any other way people can find you or get a hold of you or find your Discord? Yeah,
so I'm currently having a website built, so it'll be up on through X. People can just go through there. Yeah. But discord.gg/TMade. Everyone's welcome for free. You don't got to pay anything to be there. And down the road, if you've watched me trade long enough and you're enjoying what you're seeing, and you're like, why is he doing this differently from me, or whatever it is that crosses your mind, and you want to join the mentorship, man, just DM me and I'm happy to get you in. But I'm a nice guy. I don't bite. I'm super sweet. So even if you just want to come in and say hello, I also appreciate that.
Fantastic. Well, don't put the camera down. I love that you're a photographer as well. Keep that creative endeavor going. Congrats on all the success. You know,
Man. I
you
appreciate
have
it.
definitely been another example of proof out there that this approach can work, and it is a high ROI opportunity for those that are willing to remain consistent in their approach. So, thanks again for all the insights and the you know, the lessons here that we're taking away. Anything else you want to leave with the rest of our crowd here?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, that you know, seeing Kane do what he did, right? Did I ever think I'm going to make $2 million? It's not how I looked at it, right? So don't look at me and be like, oh, I'm going to make 100K, or don't look at Jacob, so you're going to make 500K. Everyone's journey is different.
Yeah.
All that matters is that, number one, you're giving it your all, that you're actually showing up every single day, and don't judge yourself on how long your journey takes. Mine may be a little bit faster than yours. Maybe yours ends up being faster than mine. But at the end of the day, man, believe in yourself, because I promise you the hard work will pay off. That's all I got to say.
Love it. Appreciate that, man, so much. Well, it was great meeting you. Please stick around for a minute here and we'll wrap up. And thanks again for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I loved it. Appreciate you guys.